Hello viewers, I'm your anchor Namwinga Mwinga. We now look at the news headlines. Pelham Project poor harvest for the 2020-2021 farming season. Chilanga resident plead with area MP to facilitate road construction in the area. Notorious beer drinking spots in Lusaka clamped down by LCC. In international news, South Africans protest against gender-based violence. In sports news, Zanaco Football Club left in limbo by Nakambala Leopards. We now take a break. We have more news lined up for you.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
And now the news in detail. Mwembeshi Ward 1 in Chilanga constituency have called on the area councillor and member of parliament to facilitate the construction of Makombwe Road to ease the movement of residents. The residents explained that public transport such as buses are unable to reach their area due to bad road networks. The residents are now forced to use motorbikes, which according to them have proven to be expensive, while others walk on foot to run various errands. The Road Development Agency has commenced laying down of plans to grade Makombwe and Mano Road. From the look of things, the exercise will only benefit motorists and not those without vehicles. This is Chilanga district in Mwembeshi with a population of at least 200,000 people as of the last statistical report. The area is more of the rural setup and is also partly comprised of people living in poverty. Accessing far-flung institutions is another thing for school-going children. The road has contributed to a number of school dropouts, as it is not easy to balance between chores, schoolwork, and covering long distances on foot just to attend classes.
Engineer Manduna pamwembeshi then nyonga ziko mkuli boma pamene bakama kuti bazaika road gravel from Mwembeshi tinjamshira kuna Mpundwe, so road ko kama pocho ni ambili, so ziko mpambili.
55 years since independence, government has not looked into their plight regarding the state of this road. Their core is to have the road not only graded but tarred to allow buses to begin ferrying people back and forth.
Ndawa magari moto amenaenda amoni ambili matraki huko ni kumaini kurizi tapapata tikozere ndi road osati kuti mumvere kazu iyayi tiri vatu vansu imwe tikozereni.
Confirming the grading of the road is Mwembeshi Ward 1 Councillor Silent Mwene, who further promised that he is determined to have Mano gravel road tarred one day.
We are actually not tarring it, we are just maintaining it. It has to be graded and actually in short worked on. It will be gravel. It will continue to be gravel. We have these future plans on the table. It will be tarred, but not now. Let me just say what I know. What I know is it will be gravel, not tarred. But the future plans are actually to be tarred. Well, that road, as you know, actually starts from off the main road at Mwembeshi Primary School. Goes through via Mano, Mpamba. It joins again the main road there. It's a stretch for 27 kilometers. There's a short road there that we have off the center. Mano Mpamba Road, what we call as Makombwe Junction. up to it will be actually worked on up to there's a bridge there as we are going to.
Meanwhile, the country is remaining with only a few months before 2021 general elections. Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, Namwinga Mwinga. Still in Chilanga constituency, the residents in Mwembeshi have accused the area member of parliament, Maria Langa, for ignoring the electorates towards the many calls made to her concerning the placing of humps along Mumbo Road within the area. The lawmaker is alleged to have promised the electorates of negotiating for their needs, but to no avail. Complaints are that the road in the area is slopey and motorists overspeed, an action which has claimed many people's lives, including the school-going children. Meanwhile, Chilanga lawmaker Maria Langa told Camnet TV in a phone-in interview that the Road Development Agency will soon address the matter. More in this report.
Of our great concern as people that are in Chilanga concerning the Mumba Road, especially here at Satellite and Mwembeshi Junction, which connects the prisons and Mwembeshi School. We appeal that the Member of Parliament take it so serious that he visits relevant offices like RDA, Road Safety Agency, so that where possible from the east they can put humps to avoid these accidents that are happening nearly every time, and it costs the lives of the people that lives here. So the Member of Parliament should go and speak for us, Road Safety Agency and RDA, so that where possible, also motorists should take cautions that when they are reaching such an area where it's congested with a lot of people, they must slow down. There must be also road signs that will indicate that maybe where possible 60 kilometers, 40 kilometers per hour would help us so that we protect our people, because this is one central place where industries and farmers get to meet and they drink. At times you have people that drink so much. Accidents have been happening to the road network, so we plead to you so that you help us in the implementation of apps. Maybe it would be helpful.
The status is, of course, after the community putting a letter, of course, we have seen accidents because the people are not slowing down. The two sides of the road continuously crossing to each other's sides. So we've applied for humps with the Road Development Agency so that they can put the humps there. So what we are doing is to chase for the humps to come quickly.
Lusaka City Council, in conjunction with Zambia Police last night, clamped down on Fairland Pub and Grill in Emersdale, Newland Pub and Grill, Cockpit and Carbs More in Mtendere for operating as bar and nightclubs, disregarding the law surrounding the prevention of COVID-19. The drinking spots were found wanting on COVID-19 preventive guidelines by operating as bars and nightclubs, contrary to public health guidelines. The team of public health inspectors, Council Police and Zambia Police pounced on the notorious drinking spots during a night operation following a tip-off by members of the public. LCC Public Relations Manager George Sichimba says the council has heightened night and daytime operations on COVID-19 compliance due to rising cases of the disease and low levels of compliance to prevention measures by some irresponsible members of the public and business houses. More in this report. The Lusaka City Council, working with Zambia Police, have heightened night and daytime operations on COVID-19 compliance due to rising cases of the disease and low levels of adherence to the health guidelines by some members of the public and business places. Last night, LCC and Zambia Police clamped down on some notorious drinking spots that include Fairland Pub and Grill in Emersdale, Newland Pub and Grill, Cockpit and Carbs More in Mutendere for operating as bar and nightclubs. Lusaka City Council Public Relations Manager George Sichimba has noted that while carrying out the exercise, some people were using State House names to scare away authorized public officers.
Yesterday we were in Kanyama constituency. At night we were all over the city. This morning we are in Matero constituency just to check on those deep bars or kachasu dens. And so far we have pounced on so many of them, and we have confiscated kachasu, and we have discovered that people are congregating in large numbers in these dens to drink, and they are not following COVID-19 guidelines. And so as the Lusaka City Council, working with our evergreen state police, we are going to continue with these operations so that people can abide by the rules of the game.
Mr. Sichimba further says using those names to float public health guidelines is only an attempt in futility.
The word of caution to members of the public is that health is a personal responsibility. They should not fall prey to those that are opening bars and start congregating in there, because they are risking their personal lives and those of their families and others as well beyond their families. And those that are operating businesses and they think they can open bars, they are risking the lives of their clients.
In Matero today, there was yet another raid that saw a lot of business owners being clamped on for operating as bar and nightclubs. At the same time, there were certain people that met the council with hostility by throwing stones at the officers and their vehicles. Reporting for Camnet Television in Lusaka, Zambia, na Mwinga. Pelham Zambia, a civil society organization, has projected low crop yield in the 2020-2021 farming season due to the negative effects of COVID-19. Pelham Zambia country coordinator Muketoi Wamunyima says small-scale farmers have not been able to engage the much-needed labor force emanated from observing social distancing as a means of breaking the cycle of COVID-19. Mr. Wamunyima further adds that the fact that farmers are now avoiding movements resulting in less farming activities, crops are likely to wither away. We now take our first set of commercials. Do join us for more news after this.
I have used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not Pure Glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
You're still watching Camnet Television. Camnet, not just another channel. And now the rest of the news. Mufulira District Commissioner Mike Manda has urged farmers to prepare for the coming farming season as government is ready to assist them through the various farmers support programs. Mr. Manda assured the farmers that government will provide all the services including water, electricity, roads and many other developments. The DC was speaking when he and the mayor Gift Mushinge handed over the land occupancy letters to Nsato Forest quarters within the district. The farmers have also expressed gratitude for the gesture and promised to continue supporting the PF government. Over 150 farmers have benefited from the gesture. Here is a report.
Wakula isanga munchende mumbyomo mwikele limbi bambi baisanga muba nabo ichiripo kukontrola imipaka 2 hectares yala pelela pa 2 hectares yala pelela pa ifo fino muntu aikala tekwesha ukuima tipano tepa mobe na chikulu tamwasele nga kweba timukwete nchende ikalamba olona babika mo muntu muri 6 hectares kutumafumana ya 3 ichiripo kumfwana imo mwalaika la pesa bamibika imo babalaika la pesa bamibika na babalaika la pesa bababika imopo mwikerenga palifikulwa efyote tibatobe echo bachilandira ati mwisela mwikali omo mwine kuisa pitamo na kambi na banombo kumona abakweta amafia twala sova shani.
Government of the Republic of Zambia, under the leadership of Edgar Chabalungu, is here to take care, mainly in under resettlement, look after the vulnerable Zambians who are unemployed, who have been displaced, and also young youths who have nothing to do, especially retirees as well. So what we are doing now is to ensure that each and every settler who is given a piece of land must have a document from the settlement office to empower that person and make sure that that person settles on that piece of land.
Apa shite pa kuleka na impa mtumile ko ba mamanda baba tisi ekeni watu walile uyu mulimo wena tuchiri tuli panshi tuletotera twatotera mkwai.
The Patriots for Economic Progress Party, PEP, says the current form of the Chawama flyover bridge shows incompetence and lack of foresight and lack of foresight of the PF government and the head of state in general. PEP President Sean Tembo says the flyover bridge is incapable of facilitating a free flow of traffic and therefore does not serve any purpose other than being a waste of taxpayers' money. Mr. Tembo adds that the current state of the bridge will gobble resources by putting up traffic lights to control traffic to and from Makeni Mall.
Patriots for Economic Progress, we are very, very surprised and shocked to learn that the President is planning to commission the Chawama flyover bridge tomorrow. We are surprised because we did not realize that the Chawama flyover bridge is complete in its current form, because in our view it does not appear to serve any purpose. There will still need to be traffic lights to control traffic coming from Makeni Mall and from Chawama, as well as from Kafue Road. And the expectation that we had was that such a bridge would be a spaghetti junction, such that it will basically facilitate the free flow of traffic, as opposed to creating a flyover bridge and then under it you still need to put traffic lights, which defeats the very purpose of having a flyover bridge. Yeah, and you know, generally when government spends money, the expectation is that it will create value, it will benefit the nation, and not just create a moribund structure the way that the Chawama flyover bridge is. So we wish to call upon the President to consider cancelling the proposed commissioning of the Chawama flyover bridge until such a time that it is reconstructed and redesigned. Thank you.
Home Affairs Permanent Secretary Masiye Banda has warned and cautioned all those not eligible for obtaining the Green National Registration cards to desist from participating in the 2020 NRC mobile registration exercise or face the law. Mr. Banda says the registration officers will be on the ground to ensure that eligible Zambians access the national registration cards ahead of the 2021 general elections. Eastern Province Permanent Secretary Veronica Mwiche says it is the right of every eligible Zambian to obtain the NRC as it gives them access to many documents.
The government has flagged off phase 1 of the 2020 mobile registration exercise in Eastern Province. Ministry of Home Affairs Permanent Secretary Masiye Banda says 770,000 NRCs are expected to be issued, focusing on Northern, Luapula, Copper Belt, Northwestern and Eastern Province under the phase 1.
During this mobile exercise, registration officers will issue green NRCs to citizens. This means that only eligible persons are required to present themselves for registration. I want to therefore caution foreign nationals who may want to take advantage of this field work to try and get documents which they do not deserve. The law will visit them. I also want to caution parents who intend to obtain NRCs for children even before they attain the right age of 16, that it is illegal to do so.
Eastern Province Permanent Secretary Veronica Mwiche was also present at the launch.
It's important that they must know that the issue of obtaining a national registration card, that is their right, it's their inalienable right, because when they have these citizenship documents, it's very easy for them to obtain a lot of government services that are provided.
And in his remarks given on his behalf by his representative, Induna Kwanja, Chief Kapatamoyo commended government for launching the exercise, adding that this will help farmers access fertilizer under FISIP this year.
Tinao antu mkombono mubambiri imwe banata maleji ndipo tizindikiranso tonse kuti leji ndiye chikhalidwe cha umuntu kuti azivike kuti ni munthu womuno mzambia koma akupsinjika kukanga kutenga fataleza kamba kopanda leji.
According to the National Registration Act Chapter 126 of the Laws of Zambia, the NRC is a legal requirement for citizens that have attained the age of 16 as proof of identity.
On the same item, government yesterday, 1st August, flagged off the mobile national registration exercise. We now take our second and final commercial break. We'll be back shortly for more news. After this, do stay with us.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant save nations to develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
You're still watching Camnet TV. Camnet, not just another channel. And in international news, with a prolonged lockdown, an increasing number of fatalities and strict funeral protocols, people are opting for alternative ways to grieve in South Africa. It's part of the new normal ushered in by the COVID-19 pandemic. For more news, visit sabicnews.com. And also still in South Africa, as the country begins the Women's Month, the spate of gender-based violence has triggered a number of protests and outcries by women and children. The residents and political organizations in Nelson Mandela Bay are already showing solidarity in the fight against gender-based violence. We monitored SABC.
We have set our hope.
Grieving in isolation. This family has lost one of its own. Denied traditional mourning rituals. Friends and colleagues of the deceased join them to pay their last respect in a unique way.
We went to the same church with the deceased, and we decided that because of the regulations that are existing at the moment, most of us won't be in a position to attend the funeral, and we also need closure. So we decided to organize a drive-through memorial.
We might not rely on ourselves, but on God.
The memorial convoy resumes. The mood somber as the family sits at the gate, observing the proceedings. No consoling embraced or a shoulder to lean on.
It really does break our hearts that even now low or weak, we cannot even reach out and touch them. But how we have decided to do this thing was, let not be one more doing. At least or so that if the other one is too weak to drive,
the neighbors also observe from a distance, making the goodbyes so much harder. And probably this is the reality for some time to come. Herbert Memela, SABC News, Kagiso on the West Rand.
Fighting back tears. The rape of her 16-year-old daughter by a family friend has left this mother distraught. Her daughter's dignity stripped away in the blink of an eye.
I don't know if she'll ever be able to have children when she's older, because she will need to get married one day and build a family. I don't know if she'll ever be able to do any of that.
In another case on the outskirts of Port Elizabeth, a girl child was murdered. Her killer still walks free. The details cannot be disclosed as a related case is still in court. Her child's murder lays heavily on this mother.
We went to her father to see if she's not there, and the father said she wasn't there. We went to her friends and couldn't find her, even around the farm. Her father went around and found her dead in a toilet. We then called the police and the ambulance.
In Kwamaxaki Township, Port Elizabeth, the ANC Women's League gathered to protest against gender-based violence. This follows the murder of two elderly women. They were shot dead in their home after they disturbed robbers on returning home from a funeral.
What has happened to our family is so cruel that females are being, some of them abused, killed, innocent when they are innocent. As these two were shot, they were shot have done nothing. And I believe the motive behind is still questionable.
The EFF also held a similar demonstration. They marched to Zwide police station, calling for GBV cases to be taken seriously. This comes after a young rape victim was allegedly refused help.
We will not accept such things. A police station is supposed to help people and a police station is supposed to assist. Now it's as hard as it is for victims of rape to come forward or victims of GBV to come forward. Now wherever that courage you got to come straight here after that and then you turn her away, is she gonna come next time?
Over 2,000 cases were reported in the first week of the lockdown. Last year, police recorded nearly 200,000 contact crimes against women. There are over 36,000 recorded cases of sexual offences against women. Anda Ngonji, SABC News, Port Elizabeth.
We now look at the sports news. And finally in sports, Zanaco Football Club players have been disappointed by Nakambala Leopards in Southern Province. Zanaco found the gate of Nakambala Stadium gate locked with no one on site ahead of a planned game. The team travelled all the way from Lusaka to Mazibuka, Nakambala Stadium for a match with Nakambala Leopards, only to find the gate locked without any notice from the opponent's officials. That's all we had for you on our main news. A recap of the top stories. Pelham projects poor harvest for 2020-2021 farming season. Chilanga residents plead with area MP to facilitate road construction in the area. Motorists Notorious beer drinking spots in Lusaka clamped down by LCC. In international news, South Africans protest against gender-based violence. And finally in sports, Zanaco Football Club left in limbo by Nakambala Leopards. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day coming from the book of Jeremiah 29 verse 11. And it reads, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Remember to abide by the guidelines of the new normal, that is masking up, social distancing and hand sanitizing. This has been your anchor, Namwinga Mwinga. Until next time, good evening and God bless you.